we're a bit of a statistical anomaly anyway. I think having a theatre like us, a theatre and art centre like us in such a small town as Chipping Norton. But I think to still be here 5 decades later is something that we felt we really wanted to celebrate.
Get Radio Breakfast with Rich Smith.
Really looking forward now to catching up with John Cherry, Artistic Director at the Chipping Norton Theatre. Morning, John. Thanks so much for joining us.
Good morning. How you doing?
Yeah, really good, thank you. Really good. Wow. So much going on up at Chipping Norton. I guess we should start by saying congratulations and celebrating a 50th anniversary.
I know, it's extraordinary, isn't it? I mean, we're a bit of a statistical anomaly anyway. I think having a theatre like us, a theatre and art centre like us in such a small town as Chipping Norton. But I think to still be here 5 decades later is something that we felt we really wanted to celebrate. So we've had an absolute kind of busting year with the programme, with all sorts of projects going on around the town and around the theatre. So it's been lovely to celebrate that with the town.
And sort of linking into that a little bit, I guess. Obviously, Chipping Norton is not huge. Being a theatre that has been there for so long, being integrated into the community has meant the longevity of the theatre and kind of all the things that you've been doing, all the programs that you've been putting on, have helped with the community. It's I'm trying to say maybe it's not just a theatre where you pop along, once in a blue moon to go and see something that you enjoy and then come back again. There's actually a ton of stuff happening.
That's right. Yeah, I mean, it always started out as somewhere that was first and foremost for the town and the sort of surrounding area. So the building that we inhabit used to be a Salvation Army citadel. It was built in the 1870s, and then fell into disrepair and was basically being kind of used as a furniture warehouse. When two actors from who were working at the RSC in Stratford came down and saw this derelict building and thought, well, maybe we could do something with it. And one of the things that they did was they went around the town and asked every householder for £1 towards the refurbishment of the theatre. And obviously in 1974, £1 was a slightly more generous gift than it might sound these days. So they were our roots. But I think one of the things that has really changed in the last 5 years or so, coming through the pandemic, is that, like a lot of communities, the needs of the town have changed. What's being offered in the town by the government, by the authorities, by the town council has changed. There's a lot of things that aren't offered now that used to be, and a lot of people who weren't supported. So we found ourselves sort of stepping into a lot of spaces that perhaps a theatre wouldn't normally operate. So, for example, at the moment, we feed about almost 200 families through school holidays. We offer the equivalent of free school meals, but we offer it through the holidays to keep those families going. And they will come and they might attend a workshop, they might come to a free film screening, but they then get some vouchers to go away and keep the kids fed through the school holidays. So there's things like that. Our role has really, really changed in the last few years.
No, that sounds amazing. Actually, this goes back to a conversation I had with Bob Thiel from the Ensham Food Bank last week, whereby, yet again, you see these places on the map and you see a Chipping Norton and you have a perception. You see Ensham on the map, you have a perception. And actually, when you lift the lid and scratch the surface of what's happening, important roles that you and the theatre are doing, it's almost unbelievable that there is still that need for it.
I think so, and I think one of the things that we sort of one of the roles that we envisage for ourselves it is almost like an old-fashioned town square, where different people from the town can come and meet. Chipping Norton is to some extent what its reputation suggests. There is some wealth there is some privilege there, but there is also great inequality, and I think that's very, very striking in the town, where there's a lot of problems with people leaving education very early. There's problems with young male suicide. There's problems with drugs. There's problems with homelessness, and those problems slightly go unaddressed because of the reputation of the town. And what we really want the theatre and its activities to be is a place where people from across the town can gather, can meet, can have their lives enriched or just perked up a bit by a bit of entertainment, a bit of culture, some activities that they can do together. So So again, that's something that's really changed over the last few years.
No, and it is an amazing, and I think to have the foresight and the to see that actually the theatre can be part of the community and not just putting on something that you can go and enjoy. It's an amazing and wonderful thing. I'm going to sort of veer on to that one, the wonderful things that you do put on, and I mentioned a little bit when we started talking. Is it too early to be talking about Christmas? And then I actually put myself in your shoes, John. You've probably been thinking about this for months now, so this is just water off a duck's back with you.
Yeah, Christmas for me starts in about the beginning of February when we start
Right.
planning the next Panto. I mean, Panto is what a lot of people associate Chipping Norton Theatre with. We have this very, very famous Panto. We used to say it was a traditional Panto, and in some senses it is. It kind of goes back to some of the old-fashioned roots of Panto. So we do no celebrities, no pop songs. It's always original music. It's always an original script. I guess also, we last year we won we won the UK Panto Awards for achievement in innovation, and that was because we did a production of Cinderella, but we set it in Latin America, and we brought in Cuban musicians, and we brought in Mexican choreographers, and it was this huge sort of carnival celebration of a culture that's on the other side of the world, and bringing that together and combining that with those very peculiar English traditions of Panto was a really exciting thing to do. Here we're doing Jack and the Beanstalk. It's set in the fictional Viking kingdom of Smorgasbord. So again, it's a sort of slightly original take on a very classic story. But I think that it is, for us as a small theatre, a production of that size. So our Panto runs for 99 performances right through the whole festive season. It's a huge undertaking for us, and we're very ambitious and very adventurous with it. So it is a year-round job, really, kind of thinking, and you find yourself sort of trying to make Christmas cracker jokes in the middle of February, and it's quite disorientating.
Yeah, of course. I mean, it sounds absolutely fascinating that you're sort of, as well as sort of pushing the boundaries with sort of common conceptions of pantomime and what have you, but also that to being there with the community. That must, just on a personal level, that must enrich you and everyone that works for the theatre as well. That the job is not just writing Christmas cracker jokes in the middle of May. It is actually going, okay, well, yes, we are doing that, but we're also feeding people, we're also helping people, we're also putting amazing things with mental health as well. That must be very, very enriching.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's sort of one of those industries where a lot of people work in it for reasons of passion rather than reasons of pay scale, and it's a challenging thing to do, particularly on the sort of scale that we're working. We've only got 225 seats, which makes for a sort of fantastic, intimate experience as an audience member, but it means there's a real ceiling on what we can earn from people coming and watching the show. And most of the year round we have work touring to us, so we'll have comedians, or we'll have touring shows, or we'll have live music, and it's quite a challenge to kind of make anything like an income when you can only fit 200 or so people in. But I think for me, the theatre sits in a little residential street in Chipping Norton. It's extraordinary, beautiful little building in this beautiful little street. And because it's quite a small building, particularly in this time of year when the weather's nice, the interval happens and everybody spills out onto the pavements, and they're stood out there with their drinks under the street lamps, chatting away about what they've seen and what they've enjoyed. And when you see those people all gathered there in the street lamp or in sort of late afternoon, late summer sun, it's a very rewarding feeling to think, well, that's a good job done.
Yeah, you paint a beautiful picture with that, and absolutely fantastic. Well, John, where can people find out more about the listings, what you've got happening, what's going on, and of course, we're going to talk Panto as well, about potentially coming along to that.
Yeah, so our website is chippingnortontheatre.com. It's got absolutely everything on there. Our next big project, which we're really excited about, is a comedy murder mystery musical called Murder for Two. It's two actors. One plays the detective and one plays all of the suspects, and they both play a single piano throughout the show. So that's Murder for Two, and that's playing from the 26th of September to the 5th of October. So a particular recommendation there of something that we've made in-house, made in Chipping Norton, and we're very proud of. And then the Panto starts in the middle of November. So you can see all of that on our website,
Brilliant stuff.
theatre.com.
John, it's been amazing catching up with you and sort of finding out so much more about what the theatre does. It's been absolutely fascinating. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks very much.
It's brilliant stuff. That's John Terry there, the artistic director of Chipping Norton Theatre. Great, isn't it? Who'd have thought that, going that extra mile, doing those extra things and being such an integral part of the community up in Chipping Norton. Absolutely fascinating stuff. Why we do it.